Hi friends, thanks for joining. This is going to be an energy transmission. It's for the full moon in June, on June the 16th. However, I want to make it clear that this is not an astrology report. I'm not an astrologer. This is a channel transmission. And this first part of the reading is going to be for the collective. So it's going to be general energies influencing at this time. And the second part of the reading, I'll take my Morgan Greer deck and pull a couple of cards for each sign to give a little bit more detailed and specific information for how the energies are going to be affecting each zodiac sign. But again, I'm not an astrologer, and the division of the reading by astrological sign is strictly arbitrary. It's just a way of organizing the information. I would suggest you watch the whole reading and pay attention to all the messages and just pull what things feel relevant for you, things that you find helpful that you can work with to help you on your way. So this is the holographic mandala spread. I can already see there's quite a lot of major arcana cards here in this spread, so I feel like this is a pretty important time. Let's just count the major arcanas. Death at the bottom of the deck, very significant. We have also the Tower, the Universe, Judgment. Universe is world, the world card from other decks. So time space, which is Judgment. The Devil at the heart of the reading. Strength, the Emperor, Wheel of Fortune, Empress, the Lovers, the Hangman. Almost the whole reading is major arcana cards. So let's get in and see what energies are influencing us at this time. Now, Devil's Play is in reverse here at the heart of the reading. I like that as an influence. This to me is describing something about, I guess in general terms, I would say awareness. It's a general awareness about ourselves, in particular, perhaps about places where we may be holding dependencies on different things. And that may be people, it could be situations, it could be substances, it could be food, it could be habits. It could describe any type of how I would say habits or patterns of behavior that are entrenched and have become unconscious, or have become ways that we rely on things outside of ourselves for support, let's say. Crossed by the Child of Wands in this deck, that's the Page of Wands in other decks. This card is called Seeker in the Voyager deck. As the crossing card, I would say that this is telling me that this is a time where there is energy available for those who are genuinely willing to seek for a higher calling, who wish to become more realized in the fullest nature of themselves, of the energy signature that they have come into the earthly plane to understand and to realize. That there's a lot of availability here for deeper understanding and a greater expansion and growth of that entity, of that unique individual expression. At the foundation here we have Judgment. In this deck it's called Time Space. It's number 20 from the Major Arcana, and it's in reverse here. The crowning card, so on this central axis here, this is for unconscious, what's unknown, and this is what's conscious and what's known. So here we have Sage of Worlds, so that's equivalent to, in the Voyager deck, there's no, the court cards are set up a little bit differently. You have the Child, which relates to the pages. There's no Knight, but there is King and Queen, which are represented as man and woman. And then you have a gender-neutral entity known as the Sage, which is kind of the epitome of each of the suits. And so here we have the Sage of Worlds crowning the reading. It's in the reverse position here. So on this central axis, I feel that what there is here is, again, it's the word awareness keeps coming to mind. And what I feel that this is expressing is large amounts of energy that feel available for awakening, to put it really simply and really succinctly. So for, I mean, a lot of us who may have been involved in this kind of work, or this kind of level of understanding or interaction in our lives in certain ways for some time, may find that to be a little bit vague. But I feel that there has been and there is continuing to be large amounts of people moving into this area of life, into this movement of awakening and consciousness around this time. So I feel that this is maybe a message for those people who are kind of newbies, let's say, or people who are kind of coming on board recently. So Judgment, the world and the Tower card here in reverse. So for some people, again, this energy around awakening or awareness, for some people it can have a very dramatic effect in that it really does kind of turn your world upside down. And we literally have the world in reverse here with the Tower. So sudden unexpected changes or sudden influences or disruptive energies is what this is. The energies of disruption that are causing us to view our lives in a different way, or to perceive and witness and understand our lives and our existence, I guess, from a more well-rounded and a more complete lens view, right? Here we have the Child of Worlds with the Three of Wands in reverse. So now we have two child cards in the deck, so 2 pages. How I feel that this energy is influencing this reading is that there is sort of again, that energy of newbie, newness, kind of young initiates coming into the fold who are growing in awareness of a greater picture of what reality is about. And with the Three of Wands here, it does have this sensation of like a long-term vision or an expanding view of an individual's purpose or expression, and how to, I guess, engage in a type of witnessing which has a more a greater longevity in terms of playing out a role as per sort of archetypes that are yet to be embodied or yet to be activated. So stepping into new areas of our being, stepping into new areas of life. And I guess in doing so, with that comes some letting go, of course. And that's part of what the Tower has to offer here. It's about shedding parts of the ego that need to be dissolved, releasing parts of limiting behavior or certain types of structures of existing that have long been outplayed. It's responding to a call. And it's a type of free fall that comes with that at the beginning, because at first it can seem so disruptive and so shocking that in some ways for some people the carpet's been ripped out from under them in terms of their lives and how they are existing in the mode of operation that, you know, as I was saying earlier, with the devil there being at the heart of the reading, things that we've become dependent on, whether it's situations, jobs, people, circumstances, substances, or whatever. These types of things are now we may be able to see with a little bit more clarity how those things are actually a front to the real us, and how we may be hiding behind those things in order to survive or to maintain some kind of stability to help us keep moving forward. But as we're moving into this time now, I feel that a lot of people will start to awaken to the falsity of those things, or to the detrimental nature of those things that kind of keeps us hidden from our true calling or from our true strength, our true power. And there will be some revelations around how those things may be holding us back. So moving into the top part of the reading now, we have Emperor with the Wheel of Fortune both in reverse, and there's Empress here with the Lovers in reverse. There's also the Hangman in reverse. So some reversals there, and a lot of major arcana energy. However, I don't feel that that's anything to fret about or to worry about. What I feel this energy is again, it's a continuation of this expression of like that sudden unexpected influences that cause disruptions in life, and how that is sort of turning things on its head. The Emperor in reverse there feels like your foundation may be shaken, and you may be finding yourself in a situation where maybe multiple things at once are all kind of changing, you know. With the Wheel of Fortune also there in reverse, there could be this feeling of shunting. You know what I mean by that is like energy is being shaken up, and there's a disruption there, and you may feel that there is some kind of energy of depletion before you get that sensation of things being filled up again. And it's part of what may be necessary for some people to go through to actually pursue a life of greater fulfillment and greater understanding and greater clarity and greater meaningfulness. That there may be that feeling of like what you have to give up first could make you feel like a sort of diminished or depletion kind of sensation. But it's kind of what's necessary in order to fill up again. You have to kind of let go of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things here that need to be let go of in order to kind of create a life that is more fulfilling and meaningful. There needs to be a shedding of old ways. There needs to be a release of old patterns, old habits, old dependencies, old crutches. And for some people that may have a rather dramatic experience that may cause rather dramatic kind of physical, tangible changes in life, including change of location, change of job, maybe change of partner, maybe change of complete change of direction in life. And that will at first, of course, require some recalibration and a sort of management of resources in order to kind of create a greater stability again for you to then move forward in a way that feels more authentic and more genuine and more, I'm hearing, profound. So if you are in that space right now where you are feeling that sensation of diminishment or depletion or like the tide going out, don't worry, because it is part of the cycle here of being able to move towards greater fulfillment and wholeness and a greater sense of abundance and prosperity. Okay, the battery ran out there. So where I was at was with these final cards here in the outcome of the reading. The Empress and the Lovers in reverse here, indicating that this is about a return to wholeness. This is about a return to a genuine, authentic power, one which is very grounded. There's a fertility there. The Empress represents Gaia, represents Earth. So this is about our human experience. It's about also our health and wellness. And when I say health and wellness, I mean our physical health and well-being, but in a much grander perspective, it is about our total and complete union with the self. That's what the Lovers has to offer there. It's about being really in connection with our divine self and the wellness and health that comes with that, as far as understanding our true nature, understanding greater connection with all that is, with, in I guess in a broader kind of metaphysical sense, understanding our God nature, our divine and inherent divinity. So let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Again, Death was there, Woman of Cups reversed, Eight of Cups, and the Hermit. So again, more major arcana energy here in this reading. So it does feel like a very significant time. There's a lot of what I feel here is a great, again, I mean, a lot of the cards in the context that they've landed in with each other in the layout, the overall message is very much one about awakening. And as I said, if you've already been working in this area for some time, this might seem like a rather obvious message to make, but I think it's always timely to remember that there is, there's always new people coming into this arena, and there's always a need for greater awareness and compassion and a greater sharing of information and understanding for each other as each person enters into their own awakening process and starts on their own journey of self-healing to overcome, any kind of sadness or losses or traumas from the past, that there is always need for support, and there is always need for understanding and sharing amongst the community for each person as they are exactly where they are on their own personal journey. So here what I'm seeing with these extended cards is that there is a sort of again, it just feels more like this very profound energy of transformation and total life changing, and even for people I feel who've already been working in this area for some time, there is a sensation here that you're kind of getting a level up in terms of the amount of energy that moves through you, the amount of understanding you have of your own life and your purpose. And even if you have been really dedicated on your own path of healing and of resolving and of being your truest or most authentic self, there is always things to uncover. There are always new things to learn about the self. There are always places in the body where there may be some stagnations or old traumas being held that will at the perfect moment reveal themselves for us to cleanse and purify and purge and release from. So it's never too old. You're never too old. You're never too experienced to hear this kind of message, I feel, and that there's always, like, I'm hearing endurance. I think for all of us who are on our journeys towards, self-realization, that there is always more to learn, and there's always places to grow in ourselves. There's always improvement that can be made, and that's not to say that there's something wrong with us, or there's something that needs to be fixed. It's simply about staying purposeful, staying dedicated, staying true to the path, staying deeply invested in bringing out our greatest potential at all times and in every moment. And there are. I mean, I've experienced this recently, and people who I feel close to have also experienced this recently, where there has been like really deep and sometimes painful and surprising experiences that have happened recently after many years of being involved in this area, that kind of felt shocking because, you know, when you've been working in this way for some time, there seems like not necessarily too much that could be surprising, but yeah, there will always be smaller cycles within larger cycles, and in those larger cycles there can be some very unforeseen, unexpected events that bring us to a greater capacity to hold light in our physical selves. And at those times there will necessarily be some kind of pushing through energy where you've kind of got to, you know, keep going and maintain a dedication to the journey and go through some difficult stuff sometimes, but as you get more experience and as more time goes by, I feel that there's a greater ability to trust the process once you've been through it a few times. You know, it's like going through childbirth again and again. You know, once you've done it once, you kind of know what you're in for, but when you get into that process again where you're sort of rebirthing, it's still scary, and there's still kind of there's always unknown factors, but once you've been through it, you kind of have a level of trust and a level of experience and understanding that there's going to be a point where you move out of that space and things will change and you'll feel differently. So I think that this message is timeless and timely at the same time, and that there is always wisdom to be garnered from every moment in life and from every situation, and there's always room for growth. And at the same time, there's always a need to kind of maintain a sense of already being whole and complete and healed and well. And from that place, that there is potential for a greater transmission of energy through our own personal channel. So let's take a look now at for each of the zodiac signs, what might be some specific energies that could be expressed or being processed at this time. We're going to start with Gemini since it's the Gemini birthday month. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for each one and let's see what comes through. As I said, I'm not an astrologer. This is not an astrology reading. Using the zodiac wheel as a way of dividing up the reading is simply arbitrary. So I would recommend that you watch the whole reading and listen to all the messages, because there could be something there for you that will really help you on your way. So what's going on here? Alright, let's get one more shuffle. Please tune in, close your eyes, send your energy over into the deck so that I can get really clear messages that are tailored for you. Okay, let's start with Gemini. Page of Wands and the Sun reversed. Okay. I feel that what's here is that for some of you, there may be this sensation that you're waiting for some communication, or waiting for a message that will help you understand an interaction with someone recently that may not have unfolded in the way that you had kind of imagined it going. Because what I'm seeing here with the Sun card is there's two people here. It could be a sibling or a family member. It could have been a potential love interest. But what I feel is here is that you may be waiting on communication, and there may be some clarity that comes through in the next short time frame that will help you gain clarity on an interaction with someone that you may have felt unsure about. Leo. Oh, interesting. Now we have the Page of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So it's kind of a similar energy. Here for Leo, what I feel is that in this pairing of cards that the Queen of Wands in reverse might actually be you. And what I feel is here is that you may, and I kind of remember this coming up in your June reading actually. There might be something here about your I'm hearing inability to accept an offer, being that you're not in a receptive state right now. And that's not to say that's right or wrong. It's just what I feel is here right now, is that there is an offer coming towards you, but you're not in a space where you can accept that offer or receive that offer, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong. Yeah, that's just what is there right now, and I feel like that might be it for your message at this time. Hopefully that is clear and you understand what the purpose of that energy was. After Leo, we have Virgo, the star, beautiful, with the 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay, great. So what I feel is here is that there is a kind of a renewed sense of optimism and hopefulness after a time where there may have been a difficult communication with somebody, and it could have been an Aquarius. The star is an Aquarian card, but this is more of a general energy around some kind of exchange of communication. And again, it may not actually have even been with another person. I feel there's something here about a kind of clarity and understanding that has come in this recent time, or that is available to you now, about an experience that may have happened from the past where you felt hurt by somebody's words or behavior. And this energy of the star is bringing the sensation that you have maybe come to a clarity or an understanding and an acceptance of what that was about, in a way that you're actually able to move forward with a lot of hopefulness and positivity, and with a renewed sense of trust, and you're able to let go of any kind of maybe residual resentment or anger that you might have been feeling, either towards a certain person or just within you about something that happened from the past. And so there's the star here is bringing kind of purifying effect. If you see the 2 water jugs there at the bottom of the card, I feel that there is like a kind of a reset button is being hit. There's like a purification that's happening, where there's a kind of a sweeping cleanse of something from the past, and that's enabling you to move forward with a really refreshed and renewed sense of optimism and hopefulness. Okay, that was Virgo. Now Libra, 10 of Cups, upright with the 10 of Pentacles. Wow, this is really powerful. There's 2 really beautiful family cards here. There's a sensation of feeling very contented in home life and very fulfilled. As I'm feeling here with this is a sensation here of some kind of communication that is bringing this feeling of being like really on the same page with whether it's with your partner or whether it's with your roommates or home life in general, family life or friendships or whatever it is. If you're not in a partnership, this could just simply indicate your kind of sensation you have with your community of friends, that there's a real, I'm hearing trajectory. It's like you're on the same page with the people that you interact with in a very close way, and there's this sensation of a lot of support. That's what I'm feeling with these 2 cards, that you feel very supported, and you also have energy to support others in the same way that you are receiving support. So some of you may be part of a kind of online community, or even you may be part of a kind of community of people that meets on a regular basis for the specific purpose of group sharing or medicine work or something along those lines. And seeing these 2 tens come up here upright feels really amazing, in the sense of like a lot of support and a lot of sharing, and a kind of being held and being really supported by a community of people, and contributing to that as well. It's like there's a reciprocity there. It's not just one way. Okay, that was Libra. After Libra, we have Scorpio, 2 of Cups reversed and 4 of Pentacles reversed. What I feel is here is that for some of you, if you're involved in either a relationship or some kind of work relationship, friendship, something here about letting go. I'm hearing boundaries. I'm hearing contempt. I'm going to look up contempt because I don't know exactly what it means. The feeling that a person or a thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. Wow, that's kind of harsh, Scorpio. You may be feeling this way towards a person. You might be feeling like that someone that you have to deal with in your in your space may not be worthy of kind of, you know, consideration or respect or care that they may be demanding from you. And so I feel like the message of this Four of Pentacles here with the Two of Cups is that it's going to be really important for you around this time to clearly delineate your boundaries so that you're not being, so that you don't allow someone who you feel that way about to overstep your personal space and either interfere with your agenda in a way that you don't want them to, or that you don't feel like in other words, don't let anyone disrespect you. You know, using the energy of this, the message of these two cards here is like, be really clear in the space that you hold, in the boundaries that you have clearly provided for other people. Make it very clear where your boundaries are through physical communication, through verbal communication, and really don't let anyone overstep in a way that makes you feel disrespected, that makes you feel like your resources are being misused. Okay? Be really clear in your communication. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Eight of Cups, and the Devil. Eight of Cups upright and the Devil. So we had the Devil's play at the first in the first reading, at the heart of the reading in reverse. This is telling me that for some Sagittarian people, you could be realizing at this time that there are things that you need to walk away from, and those things are bad habits, dependencies, unhealthy situations, toxic people. But I feel that the energy here is, it's much more about your own personal habits and actions, rather than it being about putting that like outside of you onto someone else. There could be people that you need to move away from that are not necessarily feeding your energy in a healthy way. But I'm seeing this more about what is it that you need to address about your own behaviors, your own habits, your own personal crutches, or things that you consider valuable to you. Like how much of those things do you really need to keep feeding, or are there things that you could walk away from in order to improve your health and well-being, and I'm hearing also improve your status? So take a look at those things and see what it is that you need to address now that requires you to have a little bit more, I'm hearing, discernment and discipline, in order to walk away from what is not like actually uplifting your health. You may think that you may be working with certain things that you think are serving your well-being, but you may need to realize that those things are actually dependencies that are unhealthy for you. That was Sagittarius. After Sagittarius, we have Capricorn, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Swords reverse. Cool. I feel that this is saying that there is some energy here around vitality. You may, again, this nine of Swords here in the reverse position is kind of also feeling a little bit like dependencies. You know, see this binding, restricting kind of energy. There could be some, again, dependencies or habits or ways of thinking, more importantly, because the Swords is the air element, right? So this is about ideas, concepts, thoughts, communication. There could be things there that you may be actually able to acknowledge and recognize right now that have been, I'm hearing, tools that you depend on that have been actually just coping. Things that you use to cope, but they're not actually really supporting and nurturing your well-being. And it could just be a matter of like, now is the right time for you to acknowledge that those things may have been kind of helping you to get through a difficult time, but actually now is the moment to realize that your vitality needs to be fed from a genuine place, from an authentic place. And that's what the Ace of Wands is saying here, is like, you need to nurture your fire, your chi, your vitality in a genuine, authentic way, and release yourself from things that you may have been depending on. That could be anything from sleeping pills to sugar, right? Anything in between. It could also be non-physical things like ideas. There could be ideas that you've been maintaining that have been kind of propping you up in a certain way. But it's time to realize that those things may have served a purpose for a certain amount of time, but it's important now to acknowledge that it's time to move on from those things which actually were temporary, they provided support temporarily. Now you need to cultivate that kind of vitality genuinely, authentically, and with real-time analog methods. Okay? That was Capricorn. Aquarius. Three of Pentacles reversed and the Magician. Okay, cool. Aquarius. I feel that the message here is there is something about the way you've been working and channeling your energy into specific things which involve collaborations with other people that may have been, I'm hearing misleading. There may have been some important collaborations that you've been putting energy into that as a way of kind of cultivating certain skills or building up a sort of, I'm hearing portfolio. Like, I feel that you've been, it's almost like an apprenticeship energy here. Like, it's, maybe this is saying like it's time for the apprenticeship to be over. And it's time for you to put your energy into your own work and step out and step away from the safety and the comfort of being part of a group effort and actually go out on your own as the Magician and channel energy in the purest form, in the most profound and unique way into your own vision of what you wish to create. I hope that's clear. At this point, I think if you continue to do the kind of collaborations that you've been doing until now, you may feel like you're selling your soul. Okay? Aquarius. All right, let's move on. After Aquarius, we have Pisces. Ten of Swords reverse and the Hermit reverse. Interesting. Okay, Pisces. What does it mean? I think that for Pisces, you may not realize that there are certain things that you have been holding on to. I'm hearing security. Ten of Swords in reverse. The Hermit reverse too. I mean, for some of you, this is about your physical health. If you've been having back problems, this could be an indicator that you need to really look deeper and beyond the physical form and see where it is that you may be storing emotional energy in the body that you haven't addressed yet. That's part of what this is for some of the Pisces people watching this reading. This is about your physical health. There is a message here around understanding that your physical health is deeply connected to your emotional state and old trauma that's trapped in the body in the form of emotional energy that hasn't been expressed. So, you know, for some of you, this could be PTSD. You know, like if you have PTSD or if you have physical pain or anxiety or any kind of sort of debilitating, stressful energy in the form of like injuries in the body that prevent you from being fully active or fully using your body in the way that you can, yet you should be able to. Like if there's any kind of physical injuries that cause you to have to kind of limit certain types of physical activities, that's something. But there's also something here about if you have a kind of crippling anxiety that also prevents you from being like a real-time participant in life, that, you know, like if your anxiety or your anxiety or physical kind of injuries prevent you from living life to the fullest in the way that you know is possible, then it's time to really look within and approach your healthcare from a more holistic perspective, to work with metaphysical energies, to kind of strive to understand in a more complete way what it is that you are dealing with in your health that is something greater than just that physical injury or just that unknown anxiety that prevents you from living a full life. Okay, and this is a commitment. It's this kind of, and what I was saying for all the general reading for for collective is that this is a long road, that it's eternal. This is an eternal path of a commitment to an enduring process of ever learning, ever growing, ever discovering. And you are already whole. You are already whole. This is about collecting pieces of information to kind of fill in some gaps that might be preventing you from having a whole complete picture of who you are and your true authentic power and strength. Okay, that was Pisces. Aries, King of Cups reverse and Strength reverse. We had Strength in the previous reading as well. What does this mean? I feel for some people, some of you may be experiencing again some kind of emotional. I'm hearing agenda. I feel what this is that some of you may not be fully aware of certain kinds of emotional expression that you haven't. How do I say that? What I'm feeling with these two cards is the water and fire, right? So these two opposite kind of elemental forces that are at play here. And what I feel that this is saying is that, again, with relation to physical health, some of you may have like emotional tendencies or kinds of emotional expressions that are out of balance, in the sense that you may use anger to express emotions that are actually more sadness or disappointment, or those kinds of things on that spectrum of like more watery emotions. So let me find another way to say that. If you're finding yourself having outbursts, like temper outbursts or anger outbursts, this is saying that it's time for you to address certain kinds of emotional inconsistencies I'm hearing. So emotional energy that needs to be processed by you in a more emotionally intelligent way. So rather than like kind of hiding behind things or trying to be nice or this, that, and the other, right? This is about owning the emotions that you feel and taking responsibility for them and processing them in the right way, in the right time, with yourself, rather than sort of pretending that you're not feeling certain things and trying to hide those things from yourself and others. And then at a certain point, those emotions will have an outburst because they need to have an outlet. And that's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. This is saying that you need to learn a greater emotional intelligence and learn how to channel your emotional expressions in ways that are more adult, more emotionally intelligent, and that don't have a detrimental effect on the people around you that love and care about you. So, yeah, finding healthy ways to channel emotional energy of disappointments or sadness, and having a greater, more profound way of understanding anger. I'm not saying anger is wrong. I'm not saying any emotion is wrong. Every emotion is valid. It's about having the correct and appropriate outlet for those things so that there isn't any kind of impact on other people or also on you that's detrimental. Like this King of Cups in reverse, what I'm seeing with this is that if you're suppressing certain emotional energies, that's going to affect your digestive system. So some of you may be having some kind of digestive problems and you can't understand it. You might be trying to like deal with all kinds of like food allergies or this, that, and the other, trying to kind of understand what it is. But actually it's just your emotional energy that you're not processing correctly. You're stifling it and you're pushing it down, and it's affecting your digestive system. So having appropriate and correct emotional channels to have outlets for things that you are feeling that are actually totally valid. Shouldn't hide from them. You shouldn't try to suppress them. Have healthy outlets for them. Here I'm seeing kickboxing or some kind of physical activity that's very masculine, that's very like outwardly. I'm not saying that you have to start training kickboxing or whatever, but you get the point. It's like channeling energy into the right places at the right time, with the right intention. You could go for a walk, as long as you know that the purpose of that walk is to take some energy out, and you do it in a way that's safe, that doesn't harm you, that doesn't harm anyone else, right? Again, this whole reading has been about awareness. That means being completely lucid in every moment to what's going on. Yes, things happen. How you respond to them is what makes the difference between someone who is emotionally intelligent and someone who is not. That was Aries. And lastly, we have Taurus. Knight of Swords in reverse with the Lovers reverse. Okay. So what I feel this is here is a message around spontaneity. This could be some energy for sexual healing for some of the Taurus people. There could be here an opportunity to have a greater access to your own sensuality and your own sexuality, in ways that you may have been hiding from yourself. You know, the Knight of Swords is about, when the Knight of Swords is upright, this is about unfiltered, brash, bold, fast and spontaneous movement of energy. And seeing it here in reverse with the Lovers in reverse could be suggesting that some of you may have been withholding, or again suppressing, like hiding from, or minimizing your sensual and sexual energy for different reasons. And this could be a moment here to have some sexual healing. There could be some opportunity here to have an expression or an experience that allows you to have a freedom or a release from some kind of pent up energy, or some kind of self-imposed limitation on your sexual energy, on your sexual expression. It doesn't have to be necessarily through a sexual experience. This could just be something that puts you back in touch with your sensuality, with your physicality, with your senses as well. Okay, I feel that's it for the reading. I'm just going to check over here and see if there's any final messages that want to come. So I just realized there that I didn't read for Cancer. So here we go. Let's do the Cancer reading. Justice and the Emperor reverse. Interesting. What is this here? So if you're a Cancerian, if you're dealing with either a Libra or an Aries person, there could be something here about that. You know, maybe there's a need to find a greater balance and a greater harmony in your interactions with this person. Aside from that, what I feel is here is that there is a need to address any issues around, you know, stability, security, home life. If there's some imbalance there, this is a moment to kind of adjust and address any kind of issues that may be there around those topics. I keep hearing fairness. I mean, obviously the justice card can be about law, about justice, anything to do with issues around what's fair and what's correct. So if that resonates with you, there's something to work with. What's jumping out at me right now about these two cards is that both characters are holding swords. And being that the Emperor card is in reverse, the Emperor's sword is facing up instead of facing down. So both the Justice card and the Emperor card there have got swords that are facing up in this reading. So I feel that the message here with regard to that is that there is a greater need here, or this is simply a reminder from your higher self here, to make sure that your channel is clear and correct. The sword for me right now in this instance is representing a channel, the clear channel that you have, your connection to your higher self. So I feel that that's the message here for the Cancer people at this time, is to really strive to purify and cleanse your personal channel, your crown chakra, but connected to, and through the Emperor, what I'm feeling here is that there needs to be a grounded, clear, established foundation that's anchoring in that clear channel. So work on balancing and purifying the crown chakra and the base chakra, so that channel of light, of information is established and that it has a place to anchor into. Okay, Cancer, that was your reading. Just looking over here again for the collective reading, if there's any final messages to come through. I did feel that there was, you know, like this, the Empress here with the Lovers in reverse and the outcome positions of this card are really clear, strong indicators for me that this is about a clarity of health and wellness that is a whole picture of the metaphysical and the physical. So understanding the connection to mind and emotions, like mental thoughts, ideas, also experiences, how that connects to the emotional body, which then feeds the physical body. So starting to really address and learn to understand how physical experiences can be indicators of more information that your higher self wants you to understand about circumstances and situations that need to be integrated. We didn't really talk about this central axis very much, as far as we have the Strength card here, the Devil and the Hangman, both in reverse. Simply to say that I feel that there is, as I said earlier, there is a message here around endurance, around longevity, around a commitment to this path of the wounded healer, the spiritual warrior, the awakened individual, the human form being simply an outlet for a greater cosmic energy and awareness, and that this is a long path that is eternal. And this is about a commitment to that work, to that singular effort towards unification and wholeness, and that this is something that is incredibly powerful, it's incredibly meaningful, and it's an authentic expression of the truest nature of the individual as an expression of God, creator, universe, how whatever kind of language you use. So dig deep, understand that this is a commitment that is one that you can't really turn away from, you know, like you're in it. Once you're in it, it's like the red pill and the blue pill, yeah? So keep moving forward. Know that you have the strength, you have the courage to keep going, to master this physical plane. That's what the Sage of Worlds is saying here at the crowning card of this reading. This is a process of learning to master the physical realm, the earthly plane, with the Empress there as well. This is about physicality. This is about being in human form. Yes, we may be from other places. We may be cosmic entities in what's the word? Coming to the earthly plane to have this experience as humans. For there could be a multiverse of reasons why we may have chosen to incarnate here. But the point is to really be present, be here now, be in your physical body. Stop trying to escape. That's what the message of the Devil there is at the heart of the reading. There is no escaping. We're here. And in order to get the most out of this experience, to have the fullest expression, to have the fullest, the greatest understanding of all of our senses working together, the most heightened spiritual experience as humans can come only through the physical form. So being really embodied, being very grounded, being completely engaged with all of your senses, striving to have health and wellness through the physical form as an expression of mental and emotional energy unified and integrated into our physical body is the highest possible expression that we can strive to experience here. So really be here, be committed, don't give up, know that you have the strength, reach out to friends and family and people that are in your community, that are speaking your language if you are needing support and help, and know that there is endless support in the earthly realm and beyond for you. So thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. There was a lot in there, so watch that again. And come back to it at any time. This reading will make sense anytime, not just at this full moon. So thank you for your subscription. If you haven't yet, please do, and hit the notification bell so that you can get in your inbox when new videos get uploaded, so you don't miss any readings. My pleasure reading for you. Thank you so much. See you next time.